Prince William ruins Harry's Las Vegas trip with Meghan Makle. Greetings from Royal Family on my channel. As the rival royal brothers Prince Harry and Prince William face off, their breach is only growing worse. Assume you are a prince and a duke of royalty. You've had a wild, crazy couple of years. You have a $14.5 million mortgage, your family has basically stopped talking to you, and the closest package of pork scratchings is 8,500 kilometers away. Your recent trips to Portugal, the Caribbean, and the Texas Grand Prix weren't quite enough, so you need a midi-break, a vacation, yep, another one. So to take a break from your stagnant careers, you and your Duchess wife decide to go to Las Vegas for a few drinks, perhaps a frozen daiquiri or three. With a certain dignified poise, your brother, the taller one, the one with all the jumpers, and the one with President Joe Biden's personal mobile number, manages to spoil it all by just taking an escalator. Thank you, please share my video. Rewind that same night, I assume, one heads to one's California mansion for a disconsolate acai bowl and a good spot of moping. During Prince William's visit to Singapore, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, made a spectacular comeback to Sin City, giving a lesson in statesmanship and the everlasting allure of monarchy. This is what transpired over the course of Sunday night and Monday morning, AEDT. The last time the Duke visited Vegas was during that notorious holiday in 2012, when he was trying to impress some chicks with his pool cue skills when he got blasted and let his ghoulies fly. According to reports, the Duke wore his pants this time. Cameron Diaz, Benji Madden, Zoe Saldana, and the Sussexes traveled to Vegas in a private aircraft from Santa Barbara to attend Katy Perry's final show during her Vegas residency. Even while the Playboy princeling is still tightly zipped up, if the trip in 2012 turned out to be a severely debasing spectacle in which he made an absolute cake of himself, then this time also fits into the debasing basket. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. The pictures and videos of Harry from the evening are really amazing. Here we see one of King Charles' sons enjoying a glamorous weekend in Vegas, sitting in the VIP area like a wealthy Sarasota divorcee. The scene lacked any sense of seriousness, akin to Princess Margaret struggling to climb stairs after her fifth gin Ricky. If this picture didn't already show how drastically Harry's life and status have altered just a few hours ago, Prince William and a group of British media representatives had landed in Singapore, which was 14,000 kilometers away. While the most of us attempt to get out of airports as quickly as possible with our bags and full Hendrix stock, the prince got right to work, holding his first event within the airport at the HSBC Rain Vortex. The 41-year-old was met by a raucous mob of supporters, a sight that would have made a die-hard believer from back in the day or a One Direction fan proud. We're not just talking about a small amount of courteously joyful commotion upon the heir's arrival, but rather a loud, joyous clamor that is uncommon for charitable work trips and even the royal family. William's comments to the accompanying state official were muffled by the raucous cheers that greeted him as he entered the balcony overlooking the Rain Vortex waterfall, according to the Telegraph. Aides had to intervene and provide assistance because the prince was ultimately laden with so many gifts. Talk about two princes on remarkably different roads, or rather, two paths in the wood. I imagine that while Harry was stuttering the words to California girls, pictures and posts from social media platforms appeared all over the internet, portraying William astutely taking on the role his brother appears to have desired, to be acclaimed as a world leader and greeted by enthusiastic crowds as he races around to prevent the apocalyptic effects of climate change. Stated differently, William has ultimately turned into the antithesis of the person Harry has desperately tried to become. 4 years later, I'm not sure exactly what the Duke's eco-travel project Traveless does, but in 2019, he took a plane to Amsterdam to promote it. The Sussexes' Archewell pledged in 2021 to achieve net zero by June 30. Harry made a UN speech last year in which he declared that our world is on fire, and traveled to Africa to promote conservation efforts. Strangely enough, none of this has resulted in the Duke being a trailblazing voice, well known for his work on the climate catastrophe. It has come to light that despite the fact that the world is clearly on fire, the Duke travels by private jet to Vegas on Saturday nights for a wild time and questions why the UN hasn't responded. Meanwhile, his brother is occupied with trying to hold the hose and put out the fires. Because of his $95 million Earthshot prize, the Prince of Wales has become a very motivating figure in the environmental movement in the past few years. Cate Blanchett, a member of the Earthshot Council, called the solutions being supported by the prize truly game-changing and wildly exciting. In an interview with The Telegraph, Robert Irwin, who will present a prize at the awards, described William as a real voice for change and someone who is at the forefront of conservation. However, in Walesland, it's not all just sincere labor, tepid tea, and praise from the public. William has recently developed into a major draw for large crowds. When he visited a Big Apple fire station in September, 700 people, according to the New York Times, showed up to wait in the sun for a glimpse of him. Recently, when William and his wife Kate, the Duchess of Rothesay, as they are known in Scotland, traveled to the Highlands, unexpectedly large crowds lined the street, and today we have his Beatlemania Singapore reception. The irony here is that just a few years ago, Harry appeared to be the one to inherit everything, the fame, the accolades, and the over $100 million. But now William is the one who has earned it all. Upon examining Monday's images from Vegas, one could wonder whether this is Harry's current course of action. Is it possible to go even further into the gloop of celebrity? Considering that he must always have his finest smart casual blazer pressed in case Cameron Diaz decides to go out for sushi and wonders why the UN hasn't invited him back. William's trip to Singapore simply serves to highlight how shallow and unfulfilling Harry's post-palace charitable career has been. One may argue that entertaining the public at an airport isn't quite as exciting as spending a night out in Vegas and sipping tequila on a Gulfstream, but it doesn't sound like the Sussexes had a particularly memorable evening. The Duke and Duchess evening was described by TMZ as low-key, with Prince Harry just kinda sitting there minding his own business, somewhat aloof. The pair just sort of stood there, even when the Sussexes were seen standing up with the others. And if there was ever a visual that captured the Duke of Sussex's current state of mind regarding Megxit, Spare, and Harry and Meghan, it would be just sorta standing there. Fortunately, William, his brother, is currently taking action to put out the fire that was causing him so much anxiety.